Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher Circus, and today we are going to be playing against Kashi, which is a long time, I think, Polish dude in the community, so this should make for a pretty fun match. Now, today I'm going to be playing the opposite of what yesterday's video was about. So yesterday I did the worst possible team, so today I'm gonna do the best possible team. And Shep, how are you going to decide what the best possible team actually is? Well, it's quite simple actually, as I missed the Holy Lands, but it won't really matter. So, what am I doing? Well, as we all know, the Leper and the Plague Doctor are pretty much the two most loved characters. Not in the Butcher Circus, honestly, but in the base game, everyone loves the Leper and the Plague Doctor, and of course, people also love Reynold and Dismas. So, I mean, is there really any better combo than these four chaps altogether? Of course there isn't, so this has been my completely objective criteria for making the best possible team in the Butcher Circus. I could have just called it a day and like brought WD or something, or just brought Chef Stress, or just brought Hit Squad. But then some people would be like, oh, this isn't the best team. The best team is actually with the backline Vessel, because it has the best stun chance, or the best team is this, the best team is that. Well, there actually is no best team in the Butcher Circus. There's picks and there's counter picks. That's how it is for pretty much every single competitive game that I know of, unless like one team is blatantly overpowered, because if there is a best team, then that means the game is completely unbalanced, because that team just wins more than the others, right? That's what unbalances are. It's usually just picks and counter picks. Of course, there's teams that are all-rounders that pretty much do well regardless of the matchup, but that does happen in the Butcher Circus as well. That is actually what you should be going for when you make a team. At least in my opinion, you should make teams that are able to deal with whatever situation they're put into. Of course, you're going to be able to deal with some situations better than others, but then again, that's just how the Butcher Circus is. You get some great matchups, you get some really terrible ones. And when you bring the Plague Doctor, if you go against Pulls, that is considered a really terrible matchup, because yeah, dealing with these fools really isn't too much fun. But there's one thing I can do, which is BAM! Kazam with the chop right there onto the Abomination, and you're down to 0 HP. Nice! So here's what's going to happen right now. My opponent is gonna go for their action, and they have to go for a self-heal here. But why? Don't they regen out of this storm? And they do, but oh, that's greedy, come on, give me the Sunrise. No, my Sunrise, my beautiful Sunrise. That would have changed the game. That would have turned the tides, but no, I get no sun resistance. Why would that been amazing? Well, even though they have regen, I could have gone for Grapeshot Blast into an Incision and BAM! Even if he doesn't die, he would be dazed after de-transforming, but you know, such is the way of the Butcher Circus. You get some and you don't get some? Is that how you say it? I don't know too well. But now I'm gonna be spamming the Vendetta onto this occultist, so he has a little bit my nostalgia. And I will say, as honestly kind of terrible that it is to just bring a team based on your completely subjective taste, like, oh, I love these two characters, I love these two characters, let's make a team out of them. That usually doesn't turn out too well. This team doesn't look that bad, but when you have an occultist with demons full, it's just, yeah, it's not going to be too much fun. I'm just going to click the Plague Doctor here and just try to live. I will have the advantage of this Abomination being dazed, so I could potentially get a kill on him soon, and if I get a Virtue here on the Crusader, it would really, really benefit me, but it's probably not going to happen. Wow, that is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'm going to click here and I'm going to go for a heal onto the Plague Doctor. Then I'll just try to stay alive with this Crusader. Honestly, if I go Holy Lance right now, then I don't have a character to hit position 1, and that's not too good. They're actually going to go for the Demon's Pull here. That's a teeny bit surprising, because now I'm in the position to actually stun this Abomination if I want to. I'm also in a position to go Duelist Advance and ruin my Leper further. Yeah, that's an idea. That is one of the ideas I ever had. Oh, Leper, I'm terribly sorry, but it's actually my best chance of winning here. I have to do it. I have to actually ruin my leopard to make sure that I get the kill here on the Abomination. My opponent just used their healing turn, so there's no weird reconstruction, so I don't really need the leopard damage to bring him down to 0 for sure. They're gonna go for the panic darts here. Is it enough? It is. It is enough. That's unfortunate. It's a 50-50 with the finisher. If I don't get it, it's so over. Oh, you really need to get it. Maybe I get lucky with the figures. They get to go first next round too. This is ridiculous. Come on, figures. Give me the 25. You know you want to. Oh, I don't get it. That's unfortunate. No, I have to keep him alive. I have to keep him alive. It sucks, but I do have to do this. I mean, he's probably still dead to just like one more panic darts. But maybe the Vigorous saves me or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just really gonna have to pray that the Incision just gets the kill here. They're gonna go for the Flash Powder, which is an interesting move. I don't think I have a missed chance here, even with the Flash Powder. I think I still have enough accuracy. Yeah, I do. And I do not get the death blow, so I think that might very well be it for my team here. They're gonna transform right now, and here's the thing, they get to go first as well. Oh, this game. My opponent is playing well, they've gone for all the best moves, and it's really crippling to play a team that isn't well optimized. Their team actually looks pretty decent. This would do well against something like WD. This would do terribly against something like Chef Stress. And that's kind of like the picks and counter picks going into it, right? But yeah, just a bit unfortunate that I have a Plague Doctor and not any other character, honestly. Oh my god, no. Look at what I've done over 4 rounds. I made him lose, like, what is that, 11 HP, I made you lose like 8 HP, yeah, and they still have regen, they still have everything, there's absolutely no way I win this, so GG's to Kashi, and now let's actually bring the best team in the Butcher's Circus. Alright, and here we go, straight into a match number 2, and this time around we have made a little bit of a slight change here. Instead of bringing the best possible team in the Butcher Circus, I have brought the real best possible team in the Butcher Circus, which is the Winter Bliss DOT. And Shep, why is this the best possible team? I feel like I've never seen this in Lather. I feel like this team is very odd and not often seen, and you are actually correct about that. There's a few reasons for that. First, people love playing stress teams, people love playing full-on damage teams, people don't really like playing DOT, mostly because it's a really difficult kind of team to play with, because you are limited to a very small pool of characters, while in stress teams, I mean, you pretty much always have Men-at-Arms and ouch, that hurts. You pretty much always have Men-at-Arms and Abomination, and in damage teams you pretty much always have like Arbalest and Crusader. In DOT teams, you pretty much also always have the exact same 4 characters, or at least the exact same 3 characters, which are the Flagellant, the Shieldbreaker, the Jester. Sometimes you can change the Antiquarian out, but honestly she's just your best pick. Now, in terms of why I think this team is the best in the Butcher Circus, well, for starters, there was a certain person, which is the one that actually created the team, called Winter Bliss, that actually got 3 tournament wins in a row playing with this team, so mostly with this team, of course. I also had to play with the other teams because you can't just play the exact same one each and every single match. That would be a bit unfair if that were the case, but winning 3 tournaments in a row, most of them with the exact same team, is really freaking cool. I don't think that's ever been repeated. And not only that, just recently, another cool person called Mr. D, which most of you probably know from how much I've played with them, not recently, but in the past I've played with Mr. D a fair bit, actually went 10-0 in terms of victories and losses in the tournament that they got to 2nd place. Sadly, they did not win. If I remember correctly, I don't think Mr. D won. No, he did not. He got really close, but he did not win because the Steam got banned. So I think he managed to win with it, but then the Jester got banned, and then he couldn't play it anymore, so he just started losing after winning with it 10 times. And losing a grand total of 0 with such a really cool team. So why is it so strong? Why is this team the best? Well, for starters, you have Flagellant. Everyone knows Flagellant is super OP. Secondly, you have a decent amount of... please don't get another push. God damn it, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's really unfortunate. I'm just forced to drop a redeem here unless I want to just go kaput. I don't think that would be too smart. So let's drop a redeem on the Antiquarian, maybe get a crit heal on her, and no, I get a crit heal on myself. Okay, good. So Flashbond, really strong DOT character, overall just a really powerful character, and if your opponent focuses him down, it's really difficult to kill him because of the Exsanguinates and the redeems, and if your opponent doesn't focus him down, with the Crushed Hemlock and the Rain of Sorrows, as well as the Battle Bound, you just do crazy amounts of DOT. So your opponent really is stuck between a rock and a hard place. In terms of the other characters, you have the Antiquarian here in the back, which gives you Rejuvenating Vapors, which is pretty much mandatory if you want to win against certain types of teams, what kinds of teams, like the damage teams that don't have any sort of DOT and that have really hard hitting abilities. You can just drop Rejuvenating Vapors and then you actually give yourself a chance of winning, even if they keep hitting you very hard, which can be difficult because the Shieldbreaker is one of the most difficult characters to kill in the Butcher's Circus. She gets 50 dodge with both her trinkets, and then she gets Serpent Sway, which against stress teams like this isn't going to be too helpful, but against damage teams it's when you get it off, it's pretty much going to take you like another 4 actions to bring her down to 0 again. And that's just not doable when you're playing against a DOT team like this. If you try focusing a Shield Breaker, unless you can stun lock her and prevent her from ever using that Serpent Sway, you are absolutely never going to be able to kill her. And if you're trying to do that, then the rest of the team just kills your characters. So you have a Jess, which is very, very high priority target here. That's why you need to bring the Maki's Fall on him, because not only does he use the Battle Bound, which is very, very important for the other characters, without it they all kind of just suffer horrendously because of their lack of accuracy. He has that Finale, he has that Harvest, he has that kill potential, which DOT teams really like, having that little bit of early kill potential compared to just applying the DOT overall, because DOT teams take a very long time for their power spike. Stress takes like 3 to 6 turns, damage takes like 3 actions, not 3 to 6 turns, it takes like 3 actions, and the DOT teams usually take like 4 turns before they start getting their power spikes, which is when the enemy characters start dropping to 0 HP, because when they do start dropping 0 HP, they have to start healing, and if they start healing, you start applying more DOT, and if you're healing, they're not hitting your characters, so it's really good. Now, one thing I will say, my opponent actually has like a full-on aggressive stress team here, so it hasn't been the easiest thing to deal with, but we will try dealing with it, of course, we have to. Now, what I'm gonna go for here is just prevent the Plague Doctor from using that Noxious Blast. I feel like it's her best ability at the moment, so we're just... Oh, that's masochistic, that's terrible. We're just gonna try and prevent that from happening and just go for the pull here. Of course, I give my opponent Beast Bile if they want to, but I'm honestly not too scared of the Beast Bile right now. There's other things I can do than just spamming Festering Vapors. I've pretty much done enough DOT to kind of bring all my opponents down to 0 HP here. And I'm most likely just gonna go for a Dirk Stab right now onto the Plague Doctor or something of the likes, and then my Antiquarian is just gonna have to figure herself out, because she is kind of in a weird spot now. I literally cannot go into that repulse now that there's a crit buff on there. I will hit myself for like 8 damage if I do that, so that wouldn't be particularly smart. I actually don't have a lot of that much damage on the Finale. So I could go for a Dirk Stab here on the PD, but is that the move? Is that the move, or do I want to go for the Man-at-Arms instead? This is honestly one of the most difficult teams to play in the Circus, because there's just so many different things you can do with it, there's so many different characters you can hit into, and you have to be so smart with using your turns. It really is one of the least brain-dead teams, because with WD and with Shep Stress and, you know, overall with that stereotype of damage team and stereotype of stress team, with the stress team you're always trying to follow the same train of thought, just apply stress, give yourself like a command move for something, apply stress, try making your opponent not kill your characters, and it's usually pretty simple, like you use this ability, use that ability. But when it comes to these DOD teams, like, do I use Rejuvenating Vapors, do I use Stay Cover, do I use Protect Me, do I go for a preemptive Serpent Sway? Because if you do it preemptively and then your opponent just doesn't focus, so it just feels really odd, it feels really bad to have used that. But if you don't use it and then your opponent stuns her, then you're gonna wish you'd have used it because she's gonna be dead, right? And then if you play with the damage teams, it's like, oh, you're trying to kill this character, so everything just comes to your mind very naturally. You're gonna go for the biggest damage ability first and you're gonna use your finisher characters. In the duty team, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go for my biggest duty ability first, right? I'm gonna go for the Flagellant's Punish. Well, yes, but then if you use your Flagellant turn first, you're going to focus him down and you won't have your big heals. So what was the best move, right? You have to keep thinking this far ahead with your characters, and it feels like every single match is close. Because with the stress teams, if you kind of just prevent your opponent from killing one of your characters while you're doing stress, the match is pretty much over. With the damage teams, if you kill a character and then you kill another one, the match is pretty much over. With the DT teams, you're gonna have to be suffering for a fair while before you actually get your power spike, so it won't really be as easy as that to start winning. Now, what I really want to do here is I want to drop a finale onto the Houndmaster, and after I drop a finale onto the Houndmaster, my team can stop suffering for a second or two, and that would be really helpful. I'm actually gonna go Afflicted on my Flagellant. Jeez, they've been doing so much stress with this freaking team. It really is unfortunate, but now I can do this. At last, I can use a turn with my Flagellant that isn't just moving forward or dropping a Force Redeem because of that early crit slam. That was really unfortunate how that went down. But now I have the finale here onto the doggy. Does he go for the Lick Wounds? Yes, he does. I'm selfish. So selfish is minus 10% damage. I have 3 finale debuffs. Not 1, not 2, 3 finale debuffs. Ah, that's really bad. That means I don't do enough damage. I mean, 3 finale debuffs. I have 3 bellow debuffs countering my finale buffs, so I have like... No, it's not enough damage, actually. Oh, damn it. I guess in that case I have to force something else. I have to force my opponent's Plague Doctor to just die here. I'm gonna go for a Dirk Stab on her, or maybe even a Festering Vapors. We'll see what I want to do here. I don't really want to eat Repulse, but it's not the end of the world if I eat like 1 Repulse. I'm probably just gonna die to stress anyway if it does come down to that, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. You're gonna go for a crit for 10. That's really juicy. That means that they might be able to kill my Flagellant start of next round if they go for it. Because what they can do right now is they can just go for a Transform Rage, and even, well, if they want to do that, then I won't use my Antiquarian turn just yet. I'll go for the Dirk Stab instead. So let's do the Dirk Stab right now, 35, we don't get it sadly, but after this we're gonna have a 65 to get the death blows, so the Antiquarian should be able to get the kill here, right? So yeah, it really is kind of a very odd team because you're trying to get kills, so your Antiquarian is basically your bounty hunter in such a team. Oh, that's Slam doing 10 damage, that's a bit on the unfortunate side. I think he had enough damage, even with a low roll, even like with that being the mid roll, I think he had enough damage because he had a crit buff from the previous round and also had a Shattered Padlock, so I really doubt he could have dealt... He couldn't have dealt enough damage there, but it really is kind of unfortunate, because if I do lose my Flagellant here, I might lose the match. That's the problem. If I lose the Flagellant, it might just be over for me. They're gonna go for... Oh, that's a misplay. That's a huge misplay. They should not have done that. And that is how my opponent throws the match. Unless my Jester... Oh, they get the debuff on it! No way I don't do enough damage. There is no way I don't do enough damage here. Yeah, 12 to 21, I'm sorry, it's just not enough. And by doing that, I actually put my my Flagellant in a position to get hit, so maybe not the smartest move by me. Maybe I should have gone for the heal first, and then have done that. But I decided not to, so now I put my Flagellant in a bit of a rough spot. I kind of forgot that the Jester moves back 3 positions, so maybe not the wisest move by me, but this really is one of the most difficult teams to play because there's so many things you need to worry about, and even after playing match after match after match of this team, you're still going to be doing mistakes. That's not a mistake, that's just the Butcher's Circus, right? Now, I will tell you one thing that was a mistake, not bringing Dirk Stab. Oh, I mean, not Dirk Stab, not bringing Nervous Stab. That was a huge mistake, and I'm gonna really suffer for it. What do you mean, Shep? Why are you going to suffer because of no Dirk Stab? Well, you're about to see. I do 1 damage to this Man-at-Arms, so that's a tiny touch, unfortunate. Puncture would have dealt even less. Probably would have dealt 0. So, okay, of course. That's really unfortunate. This is going to be a close one, though I think I am losing here because it's a stress team. Against stress teams, it becomes kind of difficult when you no longer have the flagellant. If I still had the flagellant here, it was over, right? But, oh, I let him die. I mean, he let himself die, but still. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a close one. Kind of funny that I might lose the match, even though I'm claiming this to be the best team in the Witcher Circus. And the funny thing is that I think WD would have won this, and I also think Chef Stress would have won this. Now, I'm confident Chef Stress would have won this. Maybe I misplayed here or there. Maybe here or there I did a more questionable play, and that's kind of been my downfall, but my opponent has no more transformations, and now their man-at-arms is at this door. Thankfully they only have 10 procs, so maybe I'll still be able to do damage. I'm really hoping that I get super lucky here and don't get debuffed. Oh, that's no debuff. That is no debuff. Okay, that's the stress. So she's actually pretty much dead, I think. A little bit of crit healing might make the difference here, please. Oh, that's juicy. That's juicy. The reason I was really worried is because with Fearful, it's permanent minus 25% damage, and with the Bell debuffs, it's really difficult for you to actually do damage to characters with protection. But now it is a 1v3. What is that? Okay, now she's dead for sure. I did 1 damage. Come on, Blight. Yes, there we go. We get the Hemlock Blight on him. He still has 2. No, he only has 1 self-heal left. Thank goodness. He only has 1 self-heal left. You know, if I had a flagellant here... Okay, he did have 2 self-heals left. He's at 36 HP. And all my characters are... Yeah, they're not gonna live very long, are they? No, Chef, they're not. They're not gonna live very long. Yuri, onto me, she says. Oh, the 2 damage into the 36 HP abomination. I've been really unlucky today. That's 2 crit heals that my opponent has gotten. You know, in the past videos I've been playing with absolute garbage stuff, so I would expect my RNG to kind of turn around a little bit in my favor, but no, that's not how this has been going. I'm failing blights on the abomination, and it is now GG because all you have to do is like use manacles once or twice. So I'm sure that Winter Bliss is turning in her proverbial grave right now, watching me play this team and fail miserably, because Winter Bliss is pretty much retired from the circus nowadays, sadly, and I'm pretty sure she would have won this. She would have won this match. She would have pulled out some duty magic and been able to save this. One thing I will do right now, though, is I'll go for the takeover just to give myself a teeny bit of death resistance. That might make the difference here. I mean, I highly doubt it, because having all this HP, it's become sort of impossible. If he didn't get that crit heal, and if I got like a tiny touch more lucky with my actions, I might have been able to salvage this situation here, but now it's... yeah, it won't be so easy. Do I go for it again? Yeah, I just go for it again. Why not? Let's do it again. There's really no point dropping Rejuvenating Vapors. Then I will... What happens if you drop Rejuvenating Vapors, Shep? Well, you're just gonna manacles me down to 0, and I might get stressed out from it. Crit, nice crit. I mean, maybe I could Rejuvenating Vapors. Do I really, though? Do I really go Rejuve? It's a difficult decision to make. Because it might save me a little bit. Compared to just dropping... okay, he has 22 HP, Chef. There's no way you're winning this, right? There's no way you're winning this. He has 22 HP. He has... how much accuracy on his manacles? He has 130 accuracy. Don't drag this out. You know you've lost. You know you've lost. What are you doing trying to go for the good moves now? You lost your flagellant on purpose. Quote-unquote on purpose. And now you're trying to win this, going for the 5-head plays. You've lost to the Irish boss here. There's no chance. I have succumbed, and yeah, this is gonna be a famous stun. Oh my goodness, I love stunlocks. I really love stunlocks. I saved myself here from the Death's Door check, but I'm losing death blow resistance as we speak. So I've got to get some of it back now, please. Okay, there is 1 stun res there. So I'm going to click now and pass! Yes, my beloved pass. Now that I can actually save myself and go for the takeoff of it, I'm going to... And now I get stunned again! Oh my god, she really doesn't want to act, does she? Can you imagine? The first time you get whacked in like 5 turns, you get a pass with your fearful. Well, at least it made for some funny value, right? Yeah, there's the death where my opponent wins the abomination, so big GG's to Irish Boss. I have taken a step larger than my leg, it would seem, by calling this the best team in the Witcher Circus. It might be the best team, but it's not the best team in my hands, that's for sure. But anyway, I will definitely be looking forward to seeing this in this weekend's tournament. I do think it will show up. I'm pretty sure it will, because we have Mr. D playing again, and I know he loves this team. And this time, the bans will be a little bit different, so if no one actually bans the characters from this team, you can pretty much play it indefinitely for your best of, so that's gonna be pretty funny. If no one bans the characters from WD, you can play WD indefinitely, so that's also gonna be pretty funny. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.